Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of us wrapping up the Challenge All-Stars or Senior Citizens. Now we got our first quitter, whatever you want to call it. I'm back with the All-Star host. My name is Sasha Joseph, and with my All-Star team here, Jason, how are you?
I'm doing real well, Sasha. Feeling very classic like Beth because I just had a birthday, so I'm not old.
Yes, happy late birthday to Jason. He just had his birthday on Friday. And Geneva, we're so glad to have you back. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be back. This episode, I feel like things happened, but also things didn't happen, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I literally was like, is it just me or like am I a little bored? Am I a little confused? I couldn't tell what I was feeling because even my notes, I was like, oh my God, this is all over the place. Like, I don't know about y'all.
I feel that, but hopefully we'll be able to fill in the gaps for each other and it'll be all good. But it was definitely an interesting episode, and how things just panned out in terms of who went into elimination.
Mm-hmm.
Finally getting to know what the lifesaver does, because that's been the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So we do at least get some good things out of the episode.
Yeah, and don't forget the Godfather.
Oh,
yes,
my
the Godfather.
And the hand of the king, Derek.
Oh my gosh.
I know we've talked about Derek especially so much, right? Like about him like really panning to production, but like this wasn't even covert. Like this was like, please bring me back. I am team good TV, team good content. Like look at me. It was too much.
He was doing way too much.
Yeah. Like killing me, Smalls. So before we even get into the episode, did y'all see the episode name before you went in? It literally said Semi-Charmed Lifesaver was the episode name.
I did not see that.
That is such a strange name to me, but
exactly. So I was like, that lifesaver has to be used this episode because why would that be the name? Of the episode, and then like we really got Mark like doing his whole like he started his Godfather thing from I feel like from Jump Mark has started his nonsense, but it starts with we get a yes confessional, which I loved. I feel like we haven't seen him too much, and he's talking about chess game and strategy, which really sets us up I feel like this week because there's a lot more strategy I will say than how cut and dry it has been in the past at least. And then Nehemiah talks about what he's gonna do with the money, which I'd love to hear from the two of you. What do you think about that edit? Nehemiah like saying why he's doing this.
Yeah, I think it's great that he wants to open centers that teach underprivileged communities about financial freedom. I think that's something that's very important. And I also feel like nowadays with the education system, I don't think a lot of people are really learning much about financial freedom.
Absolutely not.
So I think that is probably not only very important just in a general sense, but I think definitely the communities he's trying to serve, it's going to be of great use. So I really like that he has something that he wants to do to serve people and support people. So I'm all about it. I like it.
Yeah, I agree with Geneva. I'm all about it. I think it's a great cause. He's driven. It shows his motivation. It also shows us a different side of his personality. Mm-hmm. We're peeling off the layers of the onion of Nehemiah. He's not just the tenderoni. He's someone that wants to make an impact and help the next generation. And I think it's making his threat rise in my threat to win list. I will say that.
Oh, we love that. Yeah, I agree. And I also, because we talked about this, I think just last episode or maybe last two episodes, where is Nehemiah winning it all? Like, right, he talks about his legend status, and now to add to like, I know other people have given their reasoning to win, but I feel like this is the one concrete one that I can now remember, like as the reason and what he wants to do with the 500K. So that's also another like edit moment that I'm at least looking at. We love Jemmy where she's talking about, I'm living my best life. Don't judge me. I'm just going to hook up, do my thing.
Did y'all notice who else was there? Not just Jemmy, but who else was congratulating Nehemiah?
No, I know someone else was there.
Kellyanne.
That's who
Alliance confirmed. Because I saw them at the Challenge Mania event a few years ago. They know each other. It's not getting any screen time, but she was the other person there. And I think that might be setting something up down the road.
That's true.
You are welcome, everyone. If you're listening to us, you're getting the tea right here. Speaking of alliances we didn't know of, Beth and Cyrus. What do we feel about these two?
I mean, I love it. I think it's great. I think that their relationship's kind of wholesome. Very sweet. Like, I like that they, have this sort of bond that's been going on for so long. And I love how supportive Cyrus is of Beth. And I don't know. I just really appreciate it. And we get to see a little bit of that even more in the episode aside from the beginning.
Yeah, I really agree. I love their friendship. It seemed so real and genuine, and they're talking about each other's families and their kids and what it would mean to win for them. And that's another reason why I really appreciate this season, bringing people back who have past relationships. We don't get any type of that bonding on the more current seasons of the challenge.
No, absolutely not. And I agree with you, because to me, this episode, I feel like I was a little down on it, but actually now that I think about it, a lot has been set up for the next half, right? Because this is episode 4. Allegedly, we're getting 9, maybe a little bit. Right, exactly. I agree, Jason. We're maybe let's say we're getting 10 episodes, right? Like, we're at the halfway mark where we kind of need to know where everyone stands, because allegedly this is cutthroat game, as Darrell says. So we need to know who's cutting who. And then the big funny moment, Arissa. I need to know everything. What are your thoughts?
You see me having a reaction. I was living for this as Arissa did this and said how, she's a cannabis chef. She infuses her 2 passions, food and weed, into one. Everything made sense. I understood her past performance of the Ice Block Challenge. As someone who also has a passion for those things, I really resonate with Arissa. I thought it was fascinating. My brother is a chef, and I texted him, who he also watches the show. He's always talked about being a cannabis chef, but he's never met anyone in real life that actually is one.
We need to make this connection. Come on, Jason.
We would love to connect them. They both have a similar attitude. No, I'm just kidding. But I love it. Really? But Arissa, I thought it showed another layer of her personality. We're seeing inside of her, but unfortunately, I also thought to myself, she might be going home. Why are they showing this to us? What did you think, Geneva?
Yeah, I think we definitely see different sides of Arissa in this episode. You see one spectrum in this segment of the episode, and you see another spectrum at the end of the episode. So it's quite interesting to see how she is, but I feel like there's been a lot of talk about how she has been with people, whether that's been pretty quiet, not really interacting with people. She's mostly focusing on, keeping zen and focusing on herself. And as great as that is, I think that it's very important to spend this time forming connections with people, interacting with people, so that, you don't get put into elimination. And I feel like that's not something that she's really focused on. And I kind of wish that she would do it more, because it's like, based on how it seemed like it was going for her, like, yeah, sure, she wanted to be there because she came there. But I think even later, Mark is even wondering, like, do you want to be here? Like, do you want me to keep you safe? So that's kind of where I'm just a little confused by her, in a sense that I feel like I didn't even know as a viewer where her head was at. But I enjoy her in terms of her personality, and like, I had loved her so far in what I've seen up to this point. But obviously, when we get to later, that'll be another discussion. But yeah.
And Geneva, you actually brought up a really interesting point, that like Arissa could actually been a really fun character. Like, I know that she talked a little bit about how she's now, not the same person she was, and she, wants to be an introvert and kind of be by herself. I think she said loner. So, and then what we saw at the end of the episode, I was like, wow, these two personalities almost together is actually a really fun reality TV show contestant, where it's like, don't poke me, but once you do, it's a wrap. So it's just a bummer for TV. I feel like for us to miss out on that like switch, but the elimination was wild. Like what?
I never saw that coming. Well, I know we're going to talk about it later, but it blew my mind.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but I was like, okay, this is weird. Like the episode is not going on for that long. This is going to be a cliffhanger. How annoying. Psych on that. And then we get the last kind of piece. This is why I knew Katie was going in also, because we get Derek and Katie scheming. Again, how does Derek position himself so well? Where Derek, Katie tells Derek, that I have some gas left in my tank. I obviously have a fear of heights, but keep it on the DL. But, I don't want to come off as like a threat, but like I can do it in eliminations. Like I'll be fine. So would love to hear from y'all. Like, did that fake you out at all? Or you're like, okay, just another conversation?
I was happy that Katie was branching out, talking to Derek, trying to protect herself in case he won the lifesaver and might save her. I thought it was a little bizarre that one of Derek's comments about her is, now she's a mom. She has a real job. Okay. I didn't understand why he made a point to say that, describing her, and why that makes her more open to go in to elimination, or not go into elimination. It was very bizarre to me. I don't want to knock on Derek. I listened to his podcast. I kind of like it, but I will point out he has been wearing that MTV sleeveless shirt in every episode. I saw this on Twitter a few weeks ago, and now I've been looking out for it. Confirmed.
Oh my God. I love this. I literally can't breathe. Yes. Oh my God. No, it's so true. And I think it's just an interesting moment to really see that Katie is she's almost telling us ahead of time, like, if it's another one of those challenges, like, it's a wrap for me. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. In so many words, right?
You know what? I do wonder if production was like, oh, okay, we're deciding between these different challenges. Maybe we're gonna throw in this challenge here because this might set Katie up. Because I just thought that was interesting, and I felt by seeing that, I knew that was important to whatever was coming in the narrative. So I felt that, okay, this isn't necessarily a throwaway. I think it is, in a sense, it is random that she is telling him that, but I knew it had a purpose. And so that's where I'm wondering, like, did production take this and we're like, okay, we're going to have a story here, and maybe this is going to lead to having a situation where Katie will prove herself and show everybody that it's not just, it has nothing to do with heights and water, but she can manage to succeed in an elimination.
Right, exactly. That's why I was like, oh, is this like setting up for Katie is like going to win as captain, or that Katie just like automatically loses as always in these situations? I mean, I don't know that Katie's a loser, but just in this kind of water height situation for Katie. And then we quickly cut, I felt like, to the challenge, which I loved. We're doing On the Ropes, which is, played in 4 teams of 5, where 2 teams are going at a time. Teams are going to be on opposite ends of the platform, of course, suspended above water, and each team has 5 sets of ropes that are connected to between the 2 platforms. And then one member must cross their ropes, to get to the opposite side before returning back to their platform. And then that is, you've completed 1 cycle, and then you're able to unclip one of your opponent's ropes. So, and the team that unclips the most ropes the fastest wins. So what did y'all think about this challenge? First thoughts? Would love to hear. Geneva.
Well, okay, this isn't necessarily about the challenge, but I think this is more about the confessionals in relation to the challenge. It's just very interesting. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I don't know if like the challenge All-Stars editing is just obvious.
Yeah.
Or something, because they really honed on Mark really wanting the ability to win this challenge, to have the lifesaver, and be able to potentially use a lifesaver. Yeah. And so I just thought it was so interesting that he was just saying this, and then, okay, he, became team captain, and then we saw the challenge, what happened, and then this just became the continuous narrative. And I don't know if that maybe just he set it up perfectly and so that he was just very passionate about it and he really wanted it, or like part of it had to do with, how the producers are telling the narrative. But I feel like he was really giving it to them. He's like, I really want this. I want to have this power. No one knows what it does, but I want, potentially would, shake up things in the house. So I just thought that was very interesting.
Yes. That's actually my only note before like starting the teams was that Mark is talking about wanting to use a lifesaver, wink, wink. Because I was like, this is crazy. What does that mean? And why would they show it, right? If he doesn't. And Mark is the reason, right? Kind of that this challenge OG situation even happened. Like Mark was like going hard to get this like all-stars going. So it's an interesting like moment, I think, for me that he's kind of like vindication. Like this is cool and I want power. And I'm the godfather. I made this happen. That's like where my mind at least was going. And then we go to the teams. I don't know about y'all. Would love to hear your thoughts, but I felt like the Copper team was just doomed from the start. Like, I don't know that they were winning it at all. What did y'all think about the teams? And Darrell, unfortunately, had to go twice as well.
I did notice that TJ said the teams were picked randomly.
Yeah.
Which I know that's something we spoke about last week is how were the teams selected. But one of the teams had Beth and Cyrus and Nehemiah and Jemmy. So how random was that?
This is not random.
Right?
This is not random.
Thank you. Oh my, that's what I'm saying. I'm literally looking at these and I was like, okay, again. And yeah, because Copper team literally, had Alton, Arissa, Big Easy, Janae, and Katie were like, Alton and Katie, I think, are pretty good competitors versus like, I think everyone else. But I felt like this team I was surprised rather that they didn't come in dead last.
And Arissa telling Janae, challenge 101, you got to step up. I thought that was interesting, especially because at the end of the episode when Arissa ends up going into the elimination. But I thought this team was doomed also. No disrespect to Big Easy, but this challenge was very hard for him.
Yeah. Alton was really the only. Actually, no, that's not true. Because Alton and Janae, because I know Janae maybe didn't have the physical strength, but like the determination to like stay on was amazing to watch. And like I would have been so mad if they would have pushed her to go into elimination just because she tried, like honestly. And then we get the black team where Gisela is like, I don't trust any of you. I'm not gonna be captain, period. This is why I love her. And this is why I'm so glad she's back. And then
specifically doesn't trust Kendall to work hard for her too. And I was like, these people do not like Kendall. Like, I kind of feel a little bit bad for Kendall. Like these people do not like her. No. Also, doing rock, paper, scissors. To side captains. It's very interesting. It seems like people are like, I don't really want to be a captain. And then it's just, we're getting these instances where it's like, you should be captain, or we promised each, I don't know. There's just been some weird communications on how people are becoming captains. Yes. And I've just been a little puzzled by it, but it just seems like, I guess maybe people have had conversations like, oh, you said you would keep me safe, so you be captain or something. Yep. Like I've noticed that like the last couple episodes, it's been kind of some weird sayings.
Yeah. Another thing we learned in this challenge with the black team was, according to Latarian, Darrell is no longer afraid of heights. He has conquered that fear. So I'm really happy for him. He didn't do that great, but he's conquered the fear. I also noticed that Kellyanne just torched Janae. I felt so bad. Janae was, 99% of the way there. And Kellyanne went up and down that rope so fast to then release it. It broke my heart because I'm really living for Janae this season. I'm so surprised. I never saw this coming, but she is getting great content. she has the determination, like you said, Sasha. She's there for the right reasons, and she is showing up in these competitions.
Agreed. 100% agreed. And why is Kendall captain again? Like back to back now? Very weird. Also from the men.
I think it must be a thing where some people either have want her to be captain, because they want her to go to elimination, or they are confident in her ability, so she may lead the team to victory. So I think it's probably a mixture of both, but they're like, yeah, we can put the blame on Kendall, and if we lose, Kendall can go in. And then
yes, 100% now. That makes a lot of sense, because I actually made that note, like, why is she captain again? And what else? I forgot. Anyway, I had something else to say, but I forget. So whatever. And then, we go into like the actual challenge. The first lap is between Black and Copper team, and Alton, Spider-Man, again, we know he's great with ropes, just bloop, 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 moves forward, but unfortunately he is the only person on his team that is kind of doing well. And then we can talk about Katie. I feel like that's kind of the other big part of this, where poor Katie, I don't know that I could have I don't even think I could have walked on it. But Katie, basically, when it was her turn, there were only 2 ropes left from the top. And Katie had to kind of, if she would have, she had to use only her upper body strength to do that. And everyone just says, Katie, just jump, just go. What did y'all think about Katie? Like, is this the strategy you would do if you were scared of heights?
Yes, when watching this, I didn't think it was a quit. I thought she tried her best. Maybe she put one hand on the rope and she jumped in, because she knows her physical ability and what her fears are and how this might trigger her anxiety from past challenges and falling in. So I didn't see it as a quit, but it sounds like everyone else did.
Yeah, they definitely did, which is why I think Katie even volunteered. I know that will come up later, to go in. Just like I think they wished. And I think Kendall didn't volunteer, right, when she didn't jump off the podium during trivia, which they wanted her to volunteer. But anyway, and then Arissa also pushing, like, Katie to be like, just go, just jump on. And I was like, girl, I don't see you going on that. Like, why are you pushing her?
This is the thing, too, about Arissa that I'm noticing. She's pushing people into the forefront to be captain, to go before her, so that they're responsible. But then she's like, I'm scaling back. So now I'm just noticing these hints of things as we're talking about them, and it's very interesting. I don't know if I usually read into an edit that much, but for some reason with this episode, maybe it's because of how the actual elimination went. That's more what's on my mind. In terms of quitting, I felt like she kind of quit, but I'm okay with it, because I think she knew that at that point, in terms of her team, she probably wouldn't have won. Yeah. So I think that what she did was, like, she's like, I don't want to injure myself, like, or cause any more harm to myself that I could if I were to attempt something that I'm probably not going to win or succeed with. So since people were like, yeah, just jump, and then I probably would too, because it's like, what's the point? But I could also be like, well, she didn't even really realistically try, where she could have. But, she owned up to it. And as we know earlier, she mentioned it, that is a weakness of hers. But she owns up to it and acknowledges it and says, I'm stronger with other things. So.
Yeah, and Josh actually asked us in the chat, right? Do you think it's better to have somebody like Katie to just drop off without trying, so that, a player like Alton, who's doing amazing, can get a quick turnaround? And I think that's an interesting point about a player like Katie, because I agree. I think if we're at this moment, where most of the ropes are gone, I think she just needs to just, like, go, like, bye. We don't need you. Like, to me, how would they have held it against, this team if, like, Arissa and Katie just, like, dropped, just, like, felt so Alton could just go twice back and forth pretty quickly, because we saw him do it fast. I would say, and would love to hear your answers also, if you have anything else, but I think a player like Katie should have gone first. Like, why? Or second, maybe because they needed the lead from Alton, but why did they wait until the ropes were gone for Katie to go? Because, I think 2 ropes were left, and there are 5 ropes, I think. And also, she could have gone number 2. And because she's pretty fast. I think she could have done it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Sasha, and a great question. I was wondering the same thing when watching it. It seemed like she was at a big disadvantage, and if they would have been more strategic, I guess, and thought about it, instead of trying to have the faster people go first, she could have completed it maybe.
Exactly.
But they didn't give her the chance, and that also put Arissa at a disadvantage as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know if I'm seeing too much like strategy from these people, which I think is probably why I think Jason, they overlooked that. I think that was not even on their mind, which I wish it was, because I think that would have been maybe more effective for them as a collective. I think when thinking back about it, maybe also part of the reason why she wasn't one of the first people is because of her fear. You know, why would she, like, even if there were more ropes?
That's a good
like,
point.
I feel like if I feared heights and water, would I want to go first? You know, like and then it's like you might be at a huge setback. So I think there are a lot of challenges, I think, with that whole scenario. I think if you have people who have these fears, and then you also have not thinking about what happens further on in the challenge when you continue to lose the ropes. So I think it's just a mixture of different things there.
Oh yeah, that's also interesting. Yes, I think it's lose overall. But basically, you have just a little bit more time to waste at the start than you do when it's crunch time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, yeah. So thanks for that question, Josh. And then we get round 2, where Mark is just give this man the lifesaver. My God, he's like, I want to go first. I see Alton moving so fast, so I don't want him to win. So I want to win that. But then I feel like Anissa was moving pretty quick, and I was like, girl, yes, let's go. But she couldn't finish, unfortunately.
But I do want to give her props for actually managing to hold herself, because she's like, okay, I'm gonna climb here like a sloth. I'm gonna stay up so I don't fall from this rope. And like, even though eventually she dropped, I feel like she at least held it, and she actually put effort into like, I think that she did a really good job trying to execute that sort of situation.
I agree completely. I was really impressed with her, and she was at such a disadvantage because the rope that they dropped fell between her legs when she was pulling her legs up. And I think all of them would have struggled with that, even Alton, because you have to take one of your legs off and then get the rope out of your body and then put your leg back up and finish. And I mean, I would really struggle with that. I thought Anissa did so well in the challenge and really showed her determination.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like I know we've said this before, but we're going to say it again. Like, so glad that Anissa, is on this season. I really feel like she's been just shortchanged, Fessy, on this, Challenge 36. So I really feel, again, so glad that she is on here. Yeah. Thanks, Geneva. Josh is also saying, yeah, you might think that you want fast people first so you can clip the other team's rope without them clipping yours. So Katie, and everyone on your whole team had more to ropes to work with. It's tricky. Agreed, right? It just, I think if it were a different team, I think this team just wasn't it, like, anyway. Unfortunately, no shade. Like, I think they tried. But yeah, I just think besides Alton, I can't see any team, like any member, of that team going pretty quick, unfortunately. And then the only other piece that I thought was good, Ruth the Truth, just going pretty quickly again. People should be scared of Ruth. Ruthie, I feel like they're not, but they should be. And then I feel like Cyrus was sweet. Like, he's like, I'm doing it for Beth. She's team captain. And I told her I'm going to try. So here I am.
I love their friendship. Imagine if they would have been on The Amazing Race like 15 years ago at the peak of their reality fame. It would have been a wrap. It would have been awesome.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? They would have killed it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Yes, Josh, tell them.
Yeah.
100%. I can't wait. We'll definitely get to Challenge 36 because I eat Fessy.
And speaking of Cyrus, I also have to say before we move on, last week I'm on nickname alert. I noticed in this challenge he was yelling at Gisela, Tampa, Buccaneer. Yes. And I wrote that down, new nickname alert. And Laterian referred to Derek as the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
So I added them to my list of Cyrus nicknames because, Cyrus and Laterian are friends. I'm sure they came up with that together.
I want to know from production, like, how much downtime is there? Because, that's all they seem to be doing in downtime. And then Beth, at the end, we get Beth the Intimidator. So, but that's from TJ, I think. Yeah. Oh, God. Sorry. She's not intimidating. Like, absolutely not.
No.
And then, Jemmy with the shade. I'm just glad I'm not team captain because Gold wins it all. Cyrus was like, whoop, sorry, I tried it, but not worth me getting hurt. Goodbye. And he jumps off. And that basically seals the deal. Gold team wins. Gold team wins overall. So Ruthie and Mark. So Ruthie is safe as team captain, and it's a women's elimination. And Mark, the Godfather, the lifesaver, the king, the OG producer, I don't know, all of it, is the lifesaver. He's the Grand Poobah, it feels like. Yes, we love it. And then Silver is actually the losing team. Were y'all surprised by Silver? Or was it just me, like, going hard against Copper?
I'm looking at my notes to make sure I get the team names right.
Yeah.
No, I think, I don't know. For some reason, even though they were able to, I guess, get Darrell to be on their team, for some reason, when I saw that there was uneven numbers, I feel like, in some sense, like, even though they had someone technically, I just feel like people who are, like, on smaller teams tend to have some sort of disadvantage, and it never works out for them. So in my head, I felt like this was a bad situation for them. So I kind of felt like they might very well lose, which is kind of sad. But
yeah, and I thought the Copper team wouldn't come in last place because John A was on the ropes for so much longer than the people on the Silver team. And I think that time really gave them the runner-up or the third place finish. They edged them out, even though Katie jumped in and was probably 5 seconds into that challenge.
Yeah, that's true. No, that makes a lot of sense because I was like, what the heck is going on here? And then I feel like anything else, sorry, about this challenge before we move on?
No, I mean, Beth, she's going to be
sent
to the arena. She was not happy. She's beat up. She misses her family. She's not feeling confident. She's not having good luck in this game. So, we see, I think, a lot of sadness from Beth and hope for good things to come.
What happened to Jemmy being her lucky charm, right? I think they all need to separate. This family needs to break up. My daughter, is Cyrus like her uncle, Jemmy's uncle at this point? Like, I don't know.
I don't even know. I thought it was weird that they so happened to randomly be selected to be on the team together.
I mean, with production, nothing is random.
Exactly. It was like random. Okay.
They were like, I'm just going to move this wheel a little. Oh, wow. Who would have thought? Cyrus, Beth, Nehemiah, and Jemmy all on the same team? Wow. Because this happened last week, too. But I think last week they must have picked their teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get back. I literally wrote this, like, back to the losers' deliberation. Because why is this allowed? Like, what game is this?
Delusion Island. Because Beth says she wants Katie or Kendall. And I yelled at my TV before Jemmy even could. Kendall is going to beat you.
Didn't you just see Kendall? Like, I don't know.
Like,
pieced it out. Like, I just don't understand why you think that this is where I was thinking maybe in Beth's head, she's just thinking, oh, these people are loners or something, and that's why she wants to target them, but then is not realizing that they might actually beat her. So, like, where's the logic here? And, but Jemmy brings up a good point. It's like, you know what I think? This might be weird, but if we do nominate Katie, Mark might save her.
Oh, yes. Jemmy, again, playing like 3D chess at this point, like Harry Potter wizard's chess. Because, sorry, not Katie. Beth with the world's worst read, thinking she's gonna beat any of these three women. I don't know. I feel like Arissa also has a shot, but she's really, and she called them the weakest, which goes back to say Kellyanne is right that no one sees them as a threat, like her and Kendall together. So, which is wild because it's so obvious to me, but maybe they're just so wrapped up in being family and happy family that they don't see it, but like, wake up, people. And Cyrus and Nehemiah were like, also with Jemmy, we're like, are you kidding? Like they're good. And then Jemmy was confessional. Kendall will beat you in anything. That was stressful. I was like, oh, Jemmy, be a little nice.
That's not how you talk about your mom.
There's no time for niceness. This is the challenge.
Cutthroat only.
I also thought it was interesting here. They were talking about how the lifesaver works.
Yes.
And I wrote down in my notes, I wonder if the person who gets saved gets to choose their replacement.
Ooh, that would have been.
I was hoping for that.
Yeah, I also thought that because I was like, what's the thing that hasn't been done before? And it's that, right? Because it's either there was a vote or it's either the lifesaver picks the next person.
That's what I was thinking it was going to be, which I know is the obvious choice, but I guess they decided to go with in the middle of that, which, we'll talk about a bit more. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see people speculate on what it could be or what it can't be. And how they should think about it. Because I think that's where everyone's like, well, Katie, will she be, what's going to happen here, right? But, I think even Katie, which we find out later, is more in the mindset where she's just kind of like, yeah, we're friends and we've known each other for a while. But at the end of the day, like, I'm ready to go in. So.
Mm-hmm. Which also was very interesting, which, goes into the deliberation. Another very short one where Katie kind of says it. Another one where the men are really like, wow, you're a grown. Big Easy literally said, you're a grown-up woman. Yeah. What the hell does that mean?
And I wrote that in my notes. Last week, Tech volunteered himself, and it was legendary. The move of all moves. Katie does the exact same thing, and she's a grown-up woman. Not a legend. Come on. It's the same move.
They are so ridiculous. And I think, and Latarian said, I really respect you for throwing yourself in. For what? You should have respected her if she would have walked across that rope. Not for this. What the heck? Absolutely not. It's ridiculous. I, again, don't appreciate the men kind of like infantilizing women and like, just being like, oh, you're so grown up for doing what us big boys do. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
And then Johnny was like, why is she even doing that? She has friends in the house. They could keep her safe. Like, why are you putting yourself in danger when you don't need to be doing it?
Well, I saw a comment on the challenge subreddit. Since Carrie's not joining us tonight, I thought I would do my research.
Yeah.
I could have gone on the subreddit. I don't know why I wasn't. I'm always on Reddit.
Someone wrote in a comment, what if Katie volunteered herself on purpose? She knew all along that her friend Mark was going to save her and that she tried to be heroic, knowing she was not touching elimination. What do y'all think about that? Do you think Mark and Katie had this plan all along and just tried to dupe the rest of the house?
I think so, because we get her confessional early on, right? That I've known him 12 years, like, da-da-da. Like, because we got it twice. And it was the same montage both times, which I was like, MTV, what are you doing? But, so I agree with you that maybe Mark had low-key told her. Mark wasn't there, right? Mark was back at the house. But I'm assuming Derek or Mark somehow found out who Beth wanted in, and then was like, Katie, like, just volunteer yourself and we'll save you.
Yeah.
And
I think the one thing that was interesting though was just like in general, like everyone's like, Katie's gonna be saved, Katie's gonna be saved, Katie's gonna be saved. But then Katie was always like, oh well, I don't know if I will be. It's okay if I'm not. He may choose not to do this. But that's where I wonder, like, maybe Katie and Mark prior to this time, like before, maybe they had conversations about the lifesaver, and it's like, Katie, if you go in, I'll save you, like way before that before this instance. So that could also be a possibility as well. which in a sense why it wasn't super surprising that he would use it, but it was also in a sense like weird because the way the edit at least was making it from her perspective was as if it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Something was not all kosher in that moment. And then, and then we really get like this is the next piece. Sorry. It's party time. We head to the party, and this is where I could not stop rolling my eyes. I don't know if they're still, I think, stuck in the back of my head.
Uh-oh.
But like we get the Godfather edit. Like Derek is like, I don't even know what he said. I don't know if Geneva, you have the exact quote.
The champ is here.
The champ is here.
And he said something about ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, the Godfather, the owner, the lifesaver, some nonsense. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, like get out of here. I literally wrote in my notes, and I don't know if y'all also felt this, but like, so when Kendall was just trying to make some connections through her lifesaver, all these same men, Derek especially, was like, blah, blah, blah. Who does she think she is? All this BS. And then put this man on a literal pedestal. What now that he's the lifesaver? Like this is
his crown?
Yeah, I literally said the Godfather on it. Like, first of all, who made it?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
Derek probably made it because they were like, you make me this crown, you'll come back next season. I got you. And then that obnoxious trophy. I did not realize, y'all, that was a lifesaver. I don't know if you did, and I'm just out of the loop.
I did not know that.
Because they just kept saying this is the lifesaver, but I was like, are you saying Mark this? Or are you saying that gaudy, golden trophy thing? Either way, it was ugly, and I wasn't here for it. And he had lights around himself, like looking like a damn Christmas tree. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. I wrote in my notes, Mark is ridiculous. I underlined ridiculous and put an exclamation point. And I feel bad because everyone else had to play along with it because he was dangling this carrot in front of them. If you don't do this, I'm not going to save you. And I really felt bad for them. And I also was just laughing at Derek. And I know they were having fun. They're old buddies. But it was like a teenager looking up to their cool, big brother. Like, what are you going to do next? Oh, everyone come talk to them. But Derek is a beast. He should not be kneeling at the knees of Mark Long. Like, Mark Long is not going to act that way if Derek wins the lifesaver. So I'm just really curious how those roles are going to be reversed moving forward.
Yeah. Mark is, again, very much like the wannabe in control. He physically towers over all of them. But, like, even then, it's not enough almost for him, I feel. He needs to, like, emotionally and mentally also tower over them, which goes into, right, like, asking all the women, like, I'm not going to – and he just kept saying, I'm not going to throw you and you're safe. I'm not going to throw you and you're safe. It was like a montage.
Yeah.
Like,
who's left?
Yeah. No one's left. Like, are you going to go in yourself and beat Beth? Like, what's up, man? Because I literally wrote STFU in my notes, like, because it was so ridiculous. He was asking all the women. I appreciate Jemmy being like, you should use it. Like, and here's your reason. You should be like, you're friends with Katie. Like, why wouldn't you use it? Because, she just wanted to see what was going on because she knew she was safe. So I love Jemmy puppet mastering. And then, but again, I'm so salty for Kendall. Like, y'all really did her dirty last week. Then it cuts to the next morning, and Mark is telling Arissa he likes her. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to use it, against her. And he doesn't want to use her. And he doesn't like Kendall. So even though she's safe, like, he'd rather Kendall go in than Arissa.
Yeah, he lied to Kendall. Lied. Said, I'll keep you safe. I'm not coming for you. You'll be fine with me. JK.
As they say in the Big Brother house, but I guess now in the Challenge Villa, that you can bounce checks in the Challenge Villa. And then this is where we see Arissa, the like other side of Arissa, where she's like, no, don't mess with my money now. All this Zen stuff will go out the door if you if you play me. So were you expecting this from Marissa, or like, how did you feel?
I was impressed that Mark went up to her and saw her in the bar being alone, knowing she is not about to play his game. She is not going to walk over to them and plead her case. And I was impressed by that. I thought that was good social awareness to go to her the next day, make her feel safe, ask her if she wants to be here, treat her like a real adult, and get a pulse for where she's at. Arissa had mixed reactions. I wrote in my notes, just because I'm Zen, and that it was interesting. She thought that's why they were targeting her. She wasn't really making bonds with the people. It's hard in a social game if you're being alone and being an outsider for them to not vote for you. Like, you're just putting a target on yourself. And I felt bad for her. But Mark was saying, I won't put you in. And I did believe him. So.
Yeah. And maybe like he did think that if it's only up to him, he wouldn't put her in. I don't know. It was shady and messy. I think it could have ended. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Geneva.
No, I was just going to say it was interesting because the way she expressed how this experience was difficult for her. One of the things she had expressed was being an adult now in communal living was a huge adjustment for her.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, technically, haven't you been an adult all the time? Like I guess I know what she means, but like I'm just like, haven't you been an adult all the time you've ever been on the challenge? But I see how that it's probably a difficult and a challenging experience to be there present with all these people at this point in time. But I think that's the one thing that is probably really the fault in her game. Like, she really needs to talk to people. She really needs to communicate with people. And like, I understand that she is about being Zen and being to herself and being introverted, which is fine. Like, but like, I know many introverts who would still be more social than she's being. Like, she's not really talking to anyone. So unless she's in these group settings where it's like a challenge or something, at least from what we've seen in the edit. So that's just kind of where my concern was for her at this point.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. And it was just like stressful, I think, for me to watch her, if I'm being honest, also, where I was like, are you okay? Like, genuinely. And then, cutting to, I think, her montages of how she used to act. I was like, I understand why you're changed, but maybe somewhere in the middle instead. But you do you, boo. And then we get a cute little piece of Beth calling her family, which is, again, I was like, is Beth quitting? What's going on? Is it Beth? And then we get to the elimination. I feel like this was amazing and worth watching this first half, or this whole episode, where first of all, the visual of Ruthie with Mark, like the height difference, it was so funny. Because Ruthie's like really badass and really great at the challenge, but just seeing them together, we get a Cyrus confessional. I really want Beth to stay. Like, what should we do? I just like love Cyrus. He's so cute. He makes Beth more likable, if that makes sense. Agree. Yeah. And then, we get the like Beth versus Katie, yada, yada. And then Mark actually says, I've known Katie for 12 years. The girls want to see what happens. And then we get I am not going to send Katie down. I'm not going to let Katie go. Yeah. So I'm going to use a lifesaver or something like that. Which I was like, you tried it. Got it.
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, the producers probably love that you did this.
The producers probably were like, Mark, man, please. Just like, it's pretty obvious you're going to use it. Like, do something. Help us out.
Yeah, based off of this edit, you've basically made it clear to viewers that you really want to use this. So make this interesting. So I thought it was funny when he's like, I'm not going to let Katie compete tonight. So that was a pretty a great moment. But then, Kellyanne is like, well, at least I take my vitamins in case I go in or something. I'm like, what are you saying?
I'm telling you, like Kendall, Kellyanne, and Arissa, like I was like, come back to earth, like with your confessionals and just like how you're acting. I mean, I love to watch you, but like for your own good on the challenge, like please just come back to earth. And so we finally figure out what the lifesaver will be, and it's that everyone else has to vote, all in front of everyone. What are your thoughts about it? Like, I thought the cast was shaking; they could not handle it.
Yeah, I was really happy to see something different. It definitely took them by surprise, which doesn't happen very often in this show. So I really appreciated that. I felt bad for Darrell.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were going to ask Mark to vote first since he had taken the action of saving Katie, or Katie to go first. So I think Darrell was really confused. He didn't know what to do. And I wonder how long Beth was considering saying Arissa's name. Like, did she think about saying someone else's name? On the TV show, it's like 2 seconds. But it could have been 20 minutes for all we know. She could have been sizing up the other women. Who does she want to go against? I loved Anissa's reactions when people were voting for her. And I was just so happy she's on our screens.
Me too. Anissa, and like her, and if no one's watching their podcast, Anissa and Tori, like it's so good. TJ was on the week before or last, yeah, the week before now. Worth catching again. But either way, like I agree. Geneva, like, were you surprised by Arissa going in?
No, considering how not only just the episodes set her up, but just seeing her this entire season, like she hasn't really been interacting with that many people. So I feel like I don't see a lot of the cast going out of their way to save her. I don't think that a lot of them really necessarily had anything against her, but there just wasn't really any form of justification why she'd be worth keeping in terms of from what we've seen. And I think maybe after having that deliberation, I feel like Beth probably, like with Jemmye and the others, like Beth really thought about and was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't, try to compete against Kendall. Like that doesn't make any sense. So I think that maybe based on her read and just hearing and talking to people, that's probably how she came about saying Arissa. So I think that she had the right mindset, but obviously I at that time I also didn't know. Like I was like, Arissa could probably end up beating Beth. I'm not really sure how this elimination would even go, but I just thought it was very interesting how, I think people approached it in the proper way in terms of how it went. I think people were afraid of showing their cards, who they were lying to, and that's I think why everyone was freaked out. They're like, wait, I have to show who my loyalties are, or who they are too. Because with a lot of these votes, they've just been like, okay, this person volunteered, or this person wants to go against this person. Okay, we'll just vote them in. And it's just kind of been, I don't know, anticlimactic, not very compelling for TV, I'd say. So I like that they shook it up and made them basically make a decision on the spot. But we noticed a lot of people were like, oh, well, I have a new friendship with Beth, so Arissa. Or I gotta go with what my girl says, so this. And then, Anissa was like, well, I wasn't on the same team as her, so I'm gonna do what's best, for my game, put in someone who's, gonna do well, put in Kendall. And then Kendall's like, I'm gonna put in you. And then Stella was like, what you're not gonna do is F with my friend.
Yeah, Gisela Queen.
That was amazing.
Again. Oh my
God.
God.
That was so funny. And then she's like, don't ever come for Anissa on my watch. So I'm voting for you. So that was great, wonderful TV. I was just like, whoa. And then I think it was interesting when, like Arissa said Kellyanne, and then Kellyanne was just like, really? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, she should have said, not that it wouldn't matter. I'm just looking at the votes, but if Arissa said Kendall's name, it would have been 4 against Kendall and then 6 against her. So maybe it didn't actually matter. But I found it very interesting because actually more people voted, for other people. 7 people voted for Kendall, Anissa, Kellyanne won, versus Arissa actually. Or sorry, 7 people. Sorry, actually voted Arissa. One person.
I think it was 8. I think it was 8 Arissa, 3 Kendall, 2 Anissa, 1 Kellyanne or something. I think it's like the edit was like
7.
really weird.
Yeah.
They would do really fast. So
yeah. But actually, so it wouldn't have mattered. But either way, girl, like, don't, throw it to Kendall. At least you have a chance. But from what we get out of Arissa, it actually makes sense. Unfortunately, like, she's not really, like, playing the game. It's very much, like, off of emotions currently, at least, because she's pissed about what's going on.
Oh, yeah, and then Big Easy was like, well, Arissa was on my team, so I'm voting for Anissa, but not because I hate you.
It's because they're scared. I think he's scared of Anissa.
Yeah.
And Anissa even was like, what? Me? I'll fight you.
Yeah,
it was so fun.
Oh my God. It was really good. I agree.
Yeah.
So, I Geneva, you already said this, but I just wanted to reiterate that they're boring, right? Like, to me, they're like, do something. Why y'all playing so scared? I'm bored. Like, Arissa is a nice choice. I'm not mad at it, but to me, again, they're just so scared and like deer in headlight trying to figure out what they want to do. And it seems like the losing captain has more power than the winning captain. Weird. Ruthie should get to decide, if anything. And then we head to Arissa getting called down. Katie going back up. She's not even looking at them. She's pissed. And then we get Beth, the motivational speaker. I am my own competition. I am the only one standing in my way. And then we get not hall brawl, but wall brawl. And the whole point is that they have to, go through the wall. We've seen versions of this before. They challenge really likes this. But then the best part, Arissa asking, can I just box Beth? Like, what would you all do? Yeah, right. If someone's like asking, can I just box? Let's just box.
It's like, no, clearly there was a challenge that was put here for a reason. I don't think they're going to just say, we're going to change it just because you asked because you wanted to box Beth. But you know what? Beth was excited because apparently this challenge was her jam because it's something on the ground.
I wrote that down in my notes. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I thought this challenge looked really tough. I got to be honest. I would struggle doing this. Tough. I don't know how this is Beth's jam. I also wonder what happens when they're throwing the ball over the wall. What happens when it gets stuck? And if it doesn't go all the way over, do they use another ball? Like, I was thinking about this watching it. How would I approach this?
Yeah.
Arissa, though, didn't even look at it. She was either boxing or leaving and letting everyone know what she thought. And it was just everything. I never thought she would be the person that TJ said, see you never to.
I was really shocked that it ended up being her. I was not expecting it to be her.
And like the slow motion, right? Like we challenge love slow-mo. So the slow-mo, Beth putting the helmet on and then Arissa is like, so I was like, are we watching it in backwards? Like,
yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, wait, this is in reverse. And I was like, oh no, it's Arissa.
It's like that TikTok, like that song. Oh no, no. That one. Because you could bet me money and I would have been like, absolutely not. Like, I would, like, as today BB, the HOH, I would have put all my chips in that it wasn't Arissa. Like, what? And she's like, actually. And then I thought she was just going to be like, give me a second. I need to like curse them out and then I'm going to be back. So that's what I thought was happening because that's kind of how she started. And then, no, she said, y'all are flagrant snake ass shit.
Also, I thought it was funny. TJ's like, wait, you don't need a helmet?
Yeah, you don't need a helmet.
TJ, don't need a helmet.
TJ is so fun. Like these are the TJ moments that I love because he's not trying really hard or like doing the hyena laugh, but like he's literally like you don't want a helmet, and I was like TJ, I don't think she has an option. Like she has to use it, but he's like you don't want a helmet. Like it was so sweet. Oh my god! And then she drags. She's like, I don't like how they did me, like because I will win, but then when I win and I come back, I don't want to come back. So why should I even play?
I haven't heard that reason before. From someone as a reason to quit. I loved it. I'm gonna win, and I don't want to come back and live with them. F you, F you, F you. You don't know who I am.
But you know what? I guess it makes sense because she was saying the hardest part of this whole experience for her was living with them.
And she's like, I gotta do all this, do a wall brawl, whatever the hell that means, because she was not paying attention and was like, I gotta do whatever this is. And then you're telling me that I need to go back to this? Absolutely not. Like, I'm just out. You know what would have been hilarious if she finished and won and then was like, actually, no, I'm out. Like, F these people, Beth, you can stay. I just wanted to prove y'all wrong that you could beat me.
That would have been amazing.
Then I would have actually respected her.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And then he's like, you're just quitting? Arissa.
I've never heard.
Arissa, fight. Like, fight. Keep doing this.
I've never heard TJ call after someone. Like,
all right, don't take care. Never.
That little air horn. He's like, oh, I guess I gotta press this. And I was like, with that little baby ass air horn. And he's like, good job, Beth. And he like shakes her hand.
Beth, the Intimidator.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
So I'm assuming we're gonna see this. They're gonna reuse this challenge, probably.
Yeah,
we literally spent all that time putting it together, only for not. That's why I felt bad. I was like, I kind of feel bad for production because like they spent all this time putting this up, only for it to be like, okay, congrats. And we had this whole Beth stuff, only for like, I don't know. It was just a lot to have nothing, and then she didn't even do anything.
And we know that they're going to reuse, stuff anyway. Like I can't imagine them not reusing challenges. So this is even more. They're gonna now play it up. The cursed challenge, like the one that Beth the Intimidator won. Like all this kind of stuff, and like for what? Like absolutely not. So
did you see Cyrus's shirt though when Beth went up to hug him that said Team Beth?
Oh no.
And he like wrote on it in Sharpie and like circled it and
so sweet.
Why are they so sweet?
I just love their friendship. And then John A was basically like, if you want to punch Beth in the face, like, why don't you punch through the walls?
Yes.
And like, why don't you use the anger you have for the people in the house and use it in the elimination to just compete? And I was like, in my head, I was like, wow, that's such a good point. Like, even though you wouldn't be allowed to box her, just box the boxes. Maybe that'll work for you and you just win. But it seems like she was just sick of them. So at that point, but it's just very interesting to see how these contestants this season have responded to being voted in. Like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you all are a bunch of snakes. But in a sense, it's like weird because I don't feel like I've seen a lot of things happen to equate to that. Like, I do think I think it's awful when, people, I guess, who have been nice to you vote you in. But I feel like I haven't seen like some sort of ultimate betrayal like going on in the season for that to leave. It's just everyone's just like, you're snakes. And then it's just like, okay, yeah.
But, exactly. It's just kind of all for like the challenge name or like the challenge like as in, oh, this is how the challenge is supposed to be. You're supposed to be snakes. We're all supposed to, like Darrell said, right, the Brady Bunch. Like, we're not the Brady Bunch. This is shady. This is this.
And then the one weird thing was she says, I respect how the game is played, but doesn't respect how they're living. So I'm like, but you're calling them snakes because you don't respect what they just did to you. I was just very confused with that.
She should have stuck to, I just didn't want to go back, period. F these people, they're a hot mess. Call me back for a better cast. Like that's what I would have said. I would have Yep. I would have been like, yeah, TJ, see you never. Bye. Like, I'm going to go cook my Zen meals and be done with this life.
And in the words of Derek, if you think that we're all snakes, he's like, see.
Yeah. This man, I'm telling you, like, production's pet. This man. Oh my God. So funny. But I still love it. I think this was one of the better quits where I feel like she went out with a bang. I like loved it. I was like into it. It wasn't like a you suck bye kind of thing. I'm sorry Arissa's gone because I think the Arissa that started coming out is like the Arissa I wanted to see on my screen again. But for your mental health, I hope you're doing good, Arissa. Like, it's not even that deep. It's just a damn reality TV show. And then I feel like for the next time, there's only one piece that jumped out to me. Don't know if it did to y'all. But before we do anything else for the episode, sorry. Great. Did y'all see it? Jason, I see you leaned in. I don't know if you want to take it away.
Well, I noticed two things about the preview.
Ooh, yes.
One, the challenge they were doing was the final challenge on War of the Worlds 2 when Zach couldn't compete and could barely hold that log up. It looks like the same challenge. The other thing I noticed, which you might have in your notes, was about a future showmance. Gisela and Alton, just two attractive people who like each other. Ooh.
I love this. So first of all, this whole time I thought Gisela was married, so I had to go on her Instagram real quick, but like she's not. It doesn't look like at least she's dating anyone. So I loved this. I was like, yes, please. I hope this happens so bad. Because they're great on the challenge. So I hope that something happens here. I'm excited. I didn't even care about the team challenge because I saw that and I was like, what? What happened?
Oh, yes. How? And also, we're getting a twist. Supposedly. That's what they said.
Like I said, I didn't watch anything after I saw the showman.
No, I know. It's funny because I was like, okay, wait. That was what stuck out in my mind, the showmans. And I was like, wait, let me go back and watch the preview. And I was like, oh, there's a twist. Okay, good. Because now that we've seen, the lifesaver used, we need something else. Honestly, right now, I just feel like, I don't know. There's just not much happening. Like, there are things happening, but there's not enough happening.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like to see them bring back the grenades. That's when the winner of the elimination challenge could throw a twist at someone else, right? Like a negative twist.
Yes, exactly. Like something, I think they need something to shake things up because it's just getting a bit meh for me, where they're just kind of doing what the loser wants, and I'm very angry still that why does a loser
we need
get
we need a double elimination or something. I don't know.
Purge.
I'm like, I'm just a little like, okay, if there's 9 episodes, we've just seen, okay, 2 people compete, and then one comes back, and that's it. And then 2 people compete, and then a person comes back, and that's it. And then, I don't know. I just need more excitement if we're having less episodes. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm so used to the main challenge the last few seasons that when Beth won, I was like, oh, she got a gold skull. And then realized, nope, not that twist on the show.
You just have a chance of winning the money again, and it's just like,
oh my God.
Imagine though if she did win a gold skull. Like if that was the scenario, that would have been amazing to just win a gold skull for just
because Beth the Intimidator. So it's not even gonna be called a gold skull. Like it's gonna be called a Beth or something at this point.
God. I wish so. That's the one thing where I'm just like, I feel like there's no incentive for these all-stars. And I feel like maybe if they had something like that, there would be a more dynamic season, because I think then people would be like, oh, well, maybe I do want to go into elimination or I want to send this person elimination so that they don't make it to the final, or like whatever. I don't know. I just feel like there's just so many unknowns, and it's just strange to me.
Yeah, I wonder if the next one will be a purge, because it's one of the challenges that come, that's like a final challenge, right? So I wonder if it's a purge.
Maybe that's the twist.
I mean, I hope at this point, because how are we getting to 9? Unless, like I said, it's a team final and the team wins the money. That would, like, where it's 5 people on a team.
You heard it here first. Team final, purge next week.
You're welcome.
Write it down.
Clock it. And like Josh said in the chat, that maybe just give them more alcohol. Yeah, because Trishelle and that whole fight probably happened because of alcohol. Let's be honest. Or maybe because of alcohol, we're getting the hookups. Oh, yes, Geneva. Oh my God. So this is all for the episode. So now it's time for Jason's threat list. I feel like we need some music or something. Ooh. Jason, who is now on your threat list?
I, like I said earlier, really see Janae's stock rising. I think her threat's getting bigger. It's because I'm reading the edit. She's getting such wholesome content, and she really showed up in this challenge on the ropes. She did not give up. And I was just very impressed with her work ethic and how she's grown so much from when she used to be on the show. Agreed. And she's gotten rid of Zach, which is the biggest glow up for her. I love this threat list. Geneva, anyone you're thinking that's a threat to win?
This is actually a joke, but I'm going to say Beth. Just, that's more because of, that intimidation. She just might scare people out.
No one else runs the final,
and then she's just gonna win. Imagine if like something weird happened in the final where like someone just chose not to compete, and then Beth won.
What do you mean not compete? Bet the Intimidator made them not compete.
Scares them away.
I mean, there you go. No, I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like really right now. More of the guys are standing out to me in terms of I don't know if it's just more they're more featured. So I think that's probably what's more in my head. I mean, I think Kendall seems to be somebody to watch, and I feel like Anissa is always somebody to watch. I guess I don't know. I would have to think more about it, but I feel like I feel like we haven't seen a lot to be honest. Like and then yeah, it's a strange situation. So, but I don't know. I agree with Jason. I think those are people we need to watch. People we need to watch.
Also, Geneva, don't undersell Beth's chance of winning. That is Nitro's official winner pick.
No, I think she does have a shot, but I was more joking in the sense because.
Oh yeah.
And for anyone that didn't know who Nitro is, Nitro. Sorry. Nitro is Carrie's dog, who last time, every time, I think we were talking about Beth, right? Like, was very passionate and really wanted us to know it's our fault that we don't speak dog, because we unfortunately could not translate Nitro's feelings for Beth. But we believe that from what we got, at least the vibes, is that he's riding for Beth. So Nitro's threat list. Maybe that's what it needs to be called. Nitro's threat list.
That might be a very, very good idea. It might be what we need to do. We need to get a list from Carrie for next week to make sure just all those top picks for Nitro.
Yeah. And I think Isaiah said he'll make sure we'll get a jingle created.
And I also want to make sure to say a real threat, I think, is Yes. He got that opening line saying, setting the chessboard. He did very well in that rope challenge. He did win the challenge 2000, as it says every time he comes on screen. And he just seems very well-rounded. He's athletic. He's very smart. And he could be someone under the radar now whose stock could be rising as it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I was curious though to see how Katie would have competed, but now I have no idea. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe she'll get a chance to go in super soon again, and we'll see her preparation and what she's been.
Yeah, she still got stuff left in the tank, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked, I think Nehemiah is still my threat to win. I think his just the way it's either that he's a threat to win, he's going to be in the final and lose. Please no.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Let's
see. I know. I'm excited.
I'm rooting for Nehemiah.
Oh, sorry. Go, Geneva.
No, I'd say like of the guys, like I like Nehemiah. I like Cyrus. I like Latyrian. So I think those people I'm watching, but
yeah,
who knows? I'm not really sure. I think I'm intrigued to see what the final will be.
Yeah.
I think Nehemiah's edit, we're seeing a lot of winner potential. It could be like Corey's edit last season, where he was getting this big legendary edit only to fall short in the final. And maybe that's how Nehemiah's season is going to end.
Yeah, Nehemiah needs to come on the regular challenge, I think. And Alton too, I feel. Don't go in Hall Brawl. We don't need that. But outside of that, I think they could compete just as well. And that's the episode. So thank you so much for joining us. But before we end, I need to know your thoughts. The Challenge 36 wrapped up. We have new winners. We have new champions. Why did I just forget what they're called? What are your thoughts? Quick, 30-second. Would love to hear, Geneva, from you.
Ha ha ha, Fessy. I'm so happy that Amber won. You don't know. I'm so happy that Amber won. She was seriously underestimated by so many people. It's exciting that, she is the big brother person to prevail on the challenge. I think it's awesome. And I don't know. I think just watching what happened to Casey and Fessy, it shouldn't be funny to me, but I think just hearing all the constant complaints from Fessy this season about people being worried about certain partners, thinking people are not weak or he's gonna have issues with other people. But then even when it came down to the final, I don't really feel like that Fessy put that much effort. Drinking the blood and such, things that he could have put more effort into if he was really serious about winning. I mean, I think that probably Casey's situation kind of might have been more of a cop-out for him. But I just feel like he's all talk at this point in terms of the game. And so it was very exciting for me to watch Amber win.
To agree with that, Geneva,
yes.
The best part for me of seeing Fessy lose was later on in the episode when Corey's like, Fessy's going to be there saying it's Casey's fault I lost. If she didn't get hurt, I would have won. Go to Fessy in the confessional saying it's all Casey's fault. If her knee wouldn't have been hurt, we would have been able to go to the end. And I just thought that showed how aware Corey is and the depth of their friendship, that he knows him that well and how he's going to blame someone else for him falling short, because he could have competed. He could have tried harder to at least pretend to eat something. I was so happy to see them lose. And I was so happy to see Amber B win. Like you said, being the first Big Brother winner, she overcame such adversity. And I heard on the Anissa and Tori podcast, CT was saying, he's like, I thought I'm the only one who remembered she's run a marathon. Did they not know that? And I thought they were just a fantastic team that I never saw them talk during the season. And the fact that they had such good chemistry at the end, I was just so happy for them. And CT, legend status. I mean, he has really brought it. He's won 2 of the last 3 seasons. He's not that old.
No, I love this. Curse of Scotty. Oh my God. No, same for me. I on Twitter was going in on Fessy, but it's true. My partner can't compete, so I won't eat. No, absolutely not. You're a baby.
I like how that rhymed. But.
Yeah. He literally is such a baby. And I agree. I actually was spoiled on this season, but it was still really fun to watch. And I still was maybe my spoiler was wrong. Maybe Cam and Corey win, which again, I'm really sad for Cam. I wish she would have won. I wish Leroy would have won. I think them together could have come in second, actually, because they both finished first. Like of their partners, like so Nani was late and then Leroy was late, but either way they together would have finished before at least Nani, and that's all that would have mattered. But either way, I was just really sad for Leroy. Like, I'm gonna miss him. He was one of my favorites on the challenge, and I can't believe, I know he kept saying it in every single confessional, but I'm really sad that this is his last challenge. But I really hope that Cam is my next person that deserves to win. Like, I feel like she's
definitely,
her and Anissa, I feel like are my two that I was like, they deserve a win, man. Like, give them the win.
And everyone said that Cam specifically and Leroy ran the season. They were the actors. They knew what was going on. And I was just so impressed with them. I do think Cam deserves the win. And I hope we see Leroy on the Challenge All-Stars Season 2. He can finally get his W.
I know, please, Leroy. Like, it's not the regular challenge. Come back.
It's different. It's different.
It's shorter, allegedly. Please, I know. I'm not done. I'm not like done for him to go, but I understand if he has to. Great, and that's now our episode. So before we leave, Geneva, where can people find you?
People can find me at Peace Love Jen on social media. On Twitter specifically, I tweet all about reality TV, especially Big Brother Canada, Temptation Island, The Challenge. Most recently, Hell's Kitchen, but that just ended. A lot of fun shows going on, and I know we're going to get even more exciting ones in the summer, so you can check me out there.
Yeah, and Jason, what about you? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at @TheRealJO. I tweet about very similar content to what Geneva just said, but in addition to sports and the upcoming NFL draft this Thursday night. And I'm just keeping it real in the Twitter streets.
Oh, I'm gone. And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter at funsize_04, where I also tweet about the same things. And sometimes just go on rants because I feel like it, and I'm on the West Coast, so I really feel like no one's listening. But then the next morning, sometimes I get in trouble, but here we are. And you can find me of course, in Silent Podcasts, and I might show up in every other podcast places, but you'll know more on Twitter. So that's it for us, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. And we're also going to be covering anime, Big Brother, Temptation Island, The Circle, US, Total Drama Island. I believe they're not wrapped up yet. In addition to the challenge, of course. So, and we'll be adding more things on the horizon. Oh, and we have Disney Channel original movies now as well. So content is here, is what we're trying to say. So follow us, and thanks for listening. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.